Education is the most important thing. I was raised with a very modest economic background. My dad was a jazz musician. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. But I was lucky to have parents who cared for me. And I went to a public school and I got a good education. And I came out to a world of equal opportunity. And I believe that those are fundamental necessities, that you have to know how to have an education of, facts like you have to know how to read, write, and arithmetic, but you also have to know how to behave well with others, to be a good citizen, operate in a civil way, to be able then to go into jobs. And that that education can be anything that works. I think the big thing is, three big things on what I think work should be. Make your work and your passion the same thing and make it economic. If it works, that you love your work, you'll probably be better at your work. Then there's the economics of it. And so it could be anything from learning trades, whatever it may be. Education certainly does not have to be college. College is overemphasized. And having a good, productive career. When I watch these remarkable people who are on the front lines of dealing with this virus situation, and I look at them, some of the greatest people are the people who have the capabilities of doing certain things that have nothing to do with going to college, and they're on the front lines and they're contributing a lot. And so so in education and civility, but that means that there has to be equal opportunity. So yes, what my wife and I have done is we're particularly heartbroken or disenchanted with poverty affecting children and high school students having the equal opportunity of education. So our particular focus in Connecticut, we made a donation, a large donation, $100 million donation to the state of Connecticut for them to match, and are working to get those students through high school, but it could be trade school, and into jobs and to be able to be productive. So you look at all societies, and these are the things that matter most. The society becomes a fairer society when there's equal opportunity for education, and also it becomes a more productive society because the opportunities, when extended throughout the whole population, means that you get more people on the basis of merit. Right now, that system is not operating in a good, effective way. For example, people in the top 40% of income will spend about 5 times as much money on their children's education than those in the bottom 60%. And that's neither fair nor productive. So I think that these types of questions are going to have to be examined by policymakers in a bipartisan way as we go through this. But yes, in answer to your question, it really starts with good total education, the good raising of children in terms of their actual formal education and their informal education, and then going out and having an environment of equal opportunity. There's always a path out there. You just don't happen to see the path now. So you have to find the path. If you find that path, and you can't find it alone, the way you find that path is to speak to other people, get many ideas by other people. And then, you have to keep yourself trial and error. You got to keep at it. Like when you're getting a job or getting a skill, it's a lot of trying. And so that requires a certain amount of discipline. And if you have a discipline problem, get help with the discipline problem. Have somebody kick you out of bed or whatever it is that you can get there. There is a path. You just don't see the right path at the moment.
So many aspects of life are more actually the opposite convention. Like comfort, It's comfortable. Well, look, life teaches you over and over again. You want to get stronger? Okay, it's not comfortable. So stronger does not go with necessarily comfortable. Pain plus reflection equals progress. Pain is a teacher. You want to eliminate pain from your life? You're going to have a better life? No, because it's giving you messages, okay? So many different things are the opposite of what we're taught. And it goes down to even the education system, okay? You failed. Hey, that's the beginning of a discovery process. That's a good thing, okay? Okay, now how do I look at failure and learn from failure? No, you're stupid, you failed. First of all, on the nature, it's really a self-discovery process. Discovering what you want, discovering what you're like you were describing your various cases where you're discovering what you like, and then you go through that discovery. And the best way to do that is to want to do that, right? It takes an hour, and it's a self-discovery thing. And we've used others. We've used Myers-Briggs, Team Dimension, Workplace Inventory, and so other, and then we move beyond that. The main thing is, if you want self-discovery, then you'll find your ways of getting the self-discovery. They'll appear all around you. And yes, you have your nature, the thing that pulled. Don't be, a round peg in a square hole. Find your nature, what's going to flourish and make your passion and your work the same thing. Know what your nature is. Yes, so I believe in terms of that particular nature. Then we get to the particular of one of the big choices in life is savor life or accomplish. Like, we have a lot of choices in our lives, and they're almost sort of mutually exclusive sometimes. I want to go to the ball game, and I want to watch a movie, and I want to do that, and I just want to sit back and on a nice day and smell the roses. Okay, simultaneously, I want to change the world. I want to change the world, and I've got this. Or the work-life balance question, and all of those. We face those types of choices, right? So it's really important to go above oneself and to reflect on that. And also, by the way, to realize that the choices are not, you're approaching the choice wrong when you often see it as kind of that trade-off, because the truth is you can have a lot more life and you can have a lot more if you just know how to get more out of a minute. How much do I get per minute, or how much do I get per hour? We do all have to face our choices, but to also realize that you can expand how much life you're going to get out of life and how that range if you really do it well. So there are those choices. Which are those choices? And we face them, and then you have to decide how to do them well. First of all, if you do make your passion and your work the same thing, then it's great, right? Because your passion, whatever it might be, you're a painter or you're an entrepreneur and whatever that is, and you find that more enjoyable than going to a ball game, let's say, then that becomes a passionate thing. That's one thing. Second, to know how to work with people who can do things really well, to get the most leverage out of people, okay? Third, how do you get yourself really, what are the right work habits? How do I get it done without me doing it? Who's the best to do it, and how do I get it? All of a sudden you open yourself to all different possibilities of how you can do that, right? No time. I think Tim Ferriss wrote, the 4-minute or the 4-hour struggle well, or tough love. Okay, I put those words together because that exemplifies the fact that people don't think they go together. And so if you start to realize struggling well is what will get you what you want, okay, rather than avoiding struggle, that's what I'm trying to convey. And so if you realize that, then you will go to the struggle. You won't be averse to the struggle. And you will think, and then under that in the book, I wrote all these different ways of what it means to struggle well, okay? How you have thoughtful disagreement, how you listen to maybe you're not good at that or not, how you learn, how you navigate all the ways through that so that you get stronger. Because if you don't struggle, you won't get stronger. Okay, so struggling well, go above it. You know, okay, struggling well, a big element is to go above your struggle, just like you did. You look back and say, okay, am I struggling well, rather than be in it and doing those things. So there are a lot of different ways of how to struggle well. But if you know, okay, that struggling is a good thing. Okay, if you want to be strong, it's a good thing. I'll give you another example. If you worry, you don't have to worry. And if you don't worry, you have to worry. Because what I mean is, if you're worrying about what can go wrong, chances are you will create the protections against that thing going wrong, and therefore that's good. And if you're not worrying about the things that are going to go wrong, then they'll probably, the things you never expect are going to come and hit you. Okay? And so it sounds counterintuitive. If you worry, you don't have to worry. And if you don't worry, you better worry. But what it means is that process of, okay, go to the thing, go to it, and enjoy it. View these things as puzzles. Your personality will change. You'll enjoy it, okay? Because life is a puzzle. It's a going through the jungle. So I crash, and I figure, oh, risk and reward go together. You want to have a great life, okay, and you want to be safe at the same time. They sound almost like mutually exclusive, okay? So I viewed it as, okay, I'm like sitting on one side of a jungle, and that if I can get to the other side of a jungle safely, I'll have a great life. But okay, but if I cross the jungle, all sorts of things are going to happen. Now, what am I going to choose? Am I going to be on this side of the jungle and have just an ordinary life? Or am I going to have what I think is the best life possible, but I can get bitten and all those things, and that's just the nature of life. And then I said, I have to, it's my nature, I have to have the best life I can have, so I've got to go into the jungle. Now the question is, how do I go into that jungle and be successful at that? And I could tell you the answer. The answer is, first, by worrying about what I don't see that I might be wrong with, and to do it with people who see the things that I might not see, and we are all doing it as a mission to get through that jungle well together. And when I went through that jungle, and we do that together, the thing I found out, which is so wonderful, is I don't want to leave the jungle. I don't want to get to the other side, because I want to be with those people on that mission, and that whole experience becomes great. So I found my way to be successful in the jungle, to get to the other side, and I found out what really is a great reward.